Assembled devotees, I'll start with a small prayer. Om Ajnana Tumirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurubhe Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanto Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunuvadi Paschyato Desha Tarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीला गुरु महाराज की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। श्री श्री राधा गोविंद जी की जय। पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल डिवोटीज। हरे कृष्णा। So we'll start Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 16. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Praye Swabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present chapter 16. And in case if I have missed anything, you all can always add in. So we are here in chapter 16. Chapter 14, we have seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, he departed from this material world. He went to his abode. And after that, chapter 15, we learned about the Pandavas going off to Vanaprastha because they felt when the Lord was no more there along with them, they also had to move towards Vanaprastha and proceed forward in their spiritual life. And moreover, Maharaja Parikshit was equally able to handle the kingdom. So here in this photograph, we see Maharaja Parikshit and Maharaja Parikshit. He was also a great devotee of the Lord because he has seen the Lord even before his birth. He has seen the Lord in the womb of his mother, Uttara. So he was also a great devotee, and he was ruling the kingdom very nicely. He married the daughter of King Uttara, and he had 4 sons, and the chief or the who headed later on was Janmejaya. And here we see that Maharaja Parikshit, he used to take advice from the Dijas or the learned Brahmanas and then rule the kingdom. He always wanted to rule as per the word of the Lord, and he was always eager to hear the name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord. Wherever he went, he was welcomed well, and he used to listen to the pastimes of the Lord, and he used to feel very happy. He used to even learn about how he was saved within the womb by the Lord. Then he used to observe rituals time to time. He observed 3 horse yajnas, and he used to uh, give away gifts to the other brahmanas. And the time was such that that particular time was such that when he used to perform yajnas or the good works, even the demigods used to come down, and the general people could also meet the demigods. So such was his reign, and he was a great monarch of the Kuru dynasty. And he had taken shelter of Kripacharya. So, and taking the shelter of Kripacharya, he performed all the yajnas in the banks of river Ganga. And during his time, Kali was about to hop in. So as Kali was about to hop in, obviously there were certain indications that Kali was about to hop in, and he got the news about Kali coming into the uh, coming inside his kingdom. And being a great devotee of the Lord, he never wanted Kali to come in. Now, I do not have all the slides. I could manage with whatever I had. Most of the things I'll be telling like stories. So Maharaja Parikshit, when he heard about the news that Kali is about to enter, he went around to check if everything was fine. And there he found a person who looked lower than a Shudra, but in disguise or with clothes of a king. He was coming, he was behind a cow and a bull with a club, and the bull had already lost its three legs. Only it was standing only on one leg, and a cow who was very, very sad and crying. Okay. And the bull was as white as a lotus flower. And this bull indicated dharma personified, and the cow was Mother Earth. So why the bull did not have three legs? Because Kali had already entered, and as Kali entered, the four pillars of religion or dharma, that is mercy, cleanliness, austerity, and truthfulness. So these are the four legs of the bull, out of which three had already gone. The three which is gone, that is mercy, cleanliness, and austerity, and little bit of truthfulness is left behind. That is the single leg of the bull. So now, after seeing this, the the king, Maharaja Parikshit, he was a great devotee, so he could not tolerate anybody uh, disrespecting cow, bull, or brahmana. So the same thing, he followed the same here. So he punished Kali. So listening to this, Shaunaka Rishi, he asked the Shaunaka rishis who were listening about Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami, asked them, why did Maharaja Parikshit only punish him and not kill him? Because hurting a cow or a bull or a brahmana is a great offense. So he should have been killed. And then immediately Shaunaka Rishi says, okay, whatever it is, if whatever you are telling us now, Suta Goswami, if it is related to Krishna, then only we are interested to listen. Otherwise, uh, you can tell us something only about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then it is said, Suta Goswami, no, here, yeah, here what we here understand is the devotees of the Lord are interested only in licking up the honey from the lotus feet of the Lord, and they are not interested in anything else. So licking the honey from the lotus feet of the Lord, one never gets satiated if he is a pure devotee. Then they called Yamraj to sit and listen to Krishna Katha along with them, because usually in the material world we fear Yamaraj because he comes along with death. So they invited Yamraj so that Yamraj is happy with them, and because Yamraj is a great devotee of the Lord, and Yamraj will be pleased if he is invited to listen to Krishna Katha. So if Yamraj is there with them, then they will be without any obstacle, they will be able to come hear the complete Krishna Katha or Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami. So now, as Parikshit Maharaj heard about this Kali, so he came out to see the well-being of the kingdom. So Parikshit Maharaj came out in a chariot which had black horses. Unlike Arjuna, who had white horses, Arjuna had Kapidhwaja, which means that Hanumanji was there in the flag, and Parikshit Maharaj, he had a lion flag. And next we come to the place where we stopped, that Shudra was there. Shudra king Kali was there, and Dharma and Mother Earth. So they are conversing now. So Dharma, looking at Mother Earth, is questioning that, oh Mother Earth, why are you looking so sad stricken? Like, you are looking so sad, and you look pale, thin, and all that. Mother Earth is not in good form. So why are you not in this good form? So one after the other, Dharma keeps on questioning what happened. Is it because that I have lost my three legs? That is why you are looking so sad? Or is it because that nobody is performing yajnas and the demigods are not happy? That is why. Or are you sad because of the drought and famine? The people, um, they are facing so much of difficulties because of the famine and the drought. Next, again, he questions, are you unhappy because women and children are left out? Nobody's taking care of them. Then he says that, or is it that the goddess of learning, yes, the goddess of learning, Saraswati, is not being handled properly, that it is being used for, not used for a good cause or something like that. Then again, next question, is it that because of Kali Yuga, people are bewildered, they are busy only in eating, sleeping, drinking, and mating, and they are not spiritual? Is it because of that? Then again, he asks that again, then he says that, the Supreme Personality of Godhead had come down to the world. He had come down to this, he incarnated himself as Krishna to take away the burden from the earth. So why are you sad? So, or are you sad because the Lord has left and you are thinking about his transcendental pastimes? Then he addresses the Mother Earth, stating that, Mother Earth, you are the reservoir of all riches, and you should not be sad. So you please let me know what is the root cause of your such sadness. So then Mother Earth replies. So what Mother Earth replies is, Mother Earth says that, I will tell you everything one after the other. So now that the Kali has already come inside, and because of the absence of the Lord, Kali has encroached the entire world, and that is because I am sorry. So I am uh, thinking that as long as the Lord was there, everything was there, everything was uh, good and fine. So the Lord was there, the Lord used to traverse over me, and I used to be covered with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord, and I used to be happy. Now when I think how happy I was, and that the Lord is left for his abode, I am feeling the vacuum. So the Mother Earth says that, you know the queens used to be apart from the Lord, because the Lord used to move around here and there, leaving his.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can we conclude? It's sort of running out of time.
Okay. So just 1 minute. So, but for the Mother Earth, not a single day it had happened that the Lord was not in touch with Mother Earth. So the Mother Earth was always in connection with the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme, as the Supreme Lord left for his heaven, for his abode, Mother Earth was in vacuum, and Mother Earth was saddened. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice, nice presentation. Very neat. I think covered most of the important points. Thank you so much for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thanks. Anyone has any doubts, you all can ask. Otherwise, we can start with the session. Hare Krishna. All of you all seem to be stalwarts. Make use of this opportunity to start preaching in some way or the other. 1 line, 2 lines, whichever. Okay. Mohandas Prabhu is unwell, so he won't be able to co-host. So is there anyone who can help me co-host just to mute? No, yeah, okay. We've can raise your hand, so I'll make you all the co-host and I'll start with the
Mataji, I can do it.
Sure. Thank you so much.
I'll help
I'll
you,
just
Mataji.
make it. Yeah. Thanks, dear. So I'm making you the first. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Anobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadatikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namni Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadada Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Come on, everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
So,
Krishna
which chapter are we?
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna. I would love to have a Kirtan session, but I have to go ahead with the class and we all have to go. And today class is very, very. What's the chapter number? Do you remember?
2.8.
That is the morning Bhakti Vaibhav our session. This is Canto 3.
Oh, we are in
Yeah.
the first chapter.
15th chapter, Mataji.
15th chapter, right? So very, very important chapter because of 2 things. One is it's talking about what is the heading of this chapter?
It's about the description of the kingdom of God.
Absolutely. So when we are planning to travel abroad or any place for that matter, the first thing, what do we check? We check about how is the place, what is the weather, how do we do? Yes or no? We do a basic homework. Do we do that or we don't?
Yes,
okay. Right. So this is a place which we are going to eternally live for good. So therefore, here we are going to do not to check, but for us to start relishing how this is our destination. More than telling this is our destination, I will also tell this is our origin, right? This is where we belong. So when most of the time we see this as our end goal, but we are missing out on a very, very important point that this has been our place, right? So if you notice, when we go to Triplicane, right, there's a place in Chennai, and there's a temple called Parthasam. My mom used to tell we all lived here. We were like born here. We lived there. So when we used to go to Hyderabad, my dad used to tell I come from this city. Right. So, they have so much of pride and so much of affection to that particular place because they share a nostalgia. Fortunately, for most of the Kali Yuga Vasis who want to enjoy. But bottom line is, very unfortunately, we've forgotten that. So each time when we think about the future Goloka Vrindavan, just remember, it is not just the future, but that's also been our homeland. So our aim should be like, it is my home. That is my home. Right. And how do we develop that? Is to start relishing and hearing more about it. So now, starting off with the journey, can someone quickly brief me? I will be starting off with the 18th verse till about 34th verse. So can someone brief as to what happened so far? Who can set the scene? Hare Krishna. What happened? So much of silence. Any topic, any point?
Hare Krishna Mataji, we'll start.
We will start, but I just wanted what happened so far? What happened so far yesterday? What was the topic? What did we cover?
Hare Krishna Mataji, there is all darkness spread because Diti has been upholding the pregnancy for 100 years, and all the demigods are now praying to Brahma that what is the cause of it? You are the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please guide us and tell us. Then Brahma starts narrating them the story of the Chatush Kumar, and now we are proceeding step by step ahead.
Yes,
Very
they were
nice.
not allowed to enter. And then what was the cause? He could foresee it because he was three darshan. He could see that this was the cause, and he refers. What was
There is narrations now of the Vaikuntha is happening, that how beautiful the place
Yeah,
is, how
very.
everybody is of the same form of the Lord.
Thank you so much for being very interactive. Would like everyone to be very interactive. Only then I get the energy. Otherwise, I normally start feeling very sleepy in the evening, late evenings, which according to me is night right now. So the coming back to the very important point, two things. Even when they were in the womb of Diti, they were so powerful that they were able to basically spread darkness, right? So darkness also means that there is a lot of tamoguna. It also means that we are sliding down, right? So it's got multiple meaning. That means they are so negatively powerful that they are able to influence from the womb. Now, can someone tell me, why did Didi try to retain the womb for 100 years? What was the reason?
He wanted to save the demigods from the problems.
And
So she
very
wanted
nice,
to
one
withhold it.
reason.
As long as she could, she held it for 100 years.
Besides that, there is also one more motive. That's a perfect answer. Over and above that.
She didn't want to bring up those two children as far as possible.
And also, she also had a selfish reason.
They was also
Sorry? Mataji, your voice is very feeble. I barely could grasp what you were saying. So coming back to it, yes, but over and above that, obviously nobody wants your child to be killed also, no? So she also had a selfish reason that somewhere she thought she'd protect the children in the womb. So there were both reasons attached to it. One was saving the Sura, demigods, and saving the Asura in the womb because it happened to be the child. Right? With these two reasons, what happens is we are going to enter into the journey of our Vaikuntha planet, which is our original home. Right? Now, there is obviously Suddha Sattva, which is what is explained in verse 15, where it is uncontaminated mode of goodness, right? And absolutely no place of passion or ignorance, no place for even goodness. But just remember this line because this has a connect to the questions and the flow which we are going. Now, Vaikuntha has a lot of forest trees, desert trees, and all that. Which sloka says that there are so many desert trees and all that? Where does it talk about the dam of Brahma Samhita? Very nice. Yeah, Chintamani Prakrasadma Sukalpa Vriksha Laksha Vitesha Surabhi Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Sadasamramya Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Now the question is, Laksha Viteshu Surabhi, fine, thousands of cows, Surabhi cows. Lakshmi Sahasra, thousands of Lakshmi. We've heard about one Lakshmi, we've heard about Ashta Lakshmi, like 8 Lakshmis who take care of, like, food, one Lakshmi for. But then, how thousands of Lakshmis? How can that be?
Because of whoever goes to
Whoever
Vaikuntha, they become
Whoever
Lakshmis.
goes there is
They are
in
not
the
Vaikuntha
become the
Vaikuntha.
Lakshmi.
Female becomes the Lakshmis.
Yes,
And male
very
becomes
nice. Very nice. So these are the wives and the consorts of the devotees of Krishna, but they're also called Lakshmi because they just look alike. They are also having the same opulence of that. And while they're singing the glories of the Lord, They are feeling so pleasant and they are just relishing. Even the flowers are blossoming, right? So this is what we saw till now. Now we are going to enter our journey into Vaikuntha, and let me just share the PT. So 2 points which you should remember is this is Sutta Sattva platform, right? So then this will raise a lot of questions. So let's get into the. So we saw all of this. So we are in this shloka. So someone can go ahead with the 18th shloka, please.
Krishna
Hare Krishna.
Muktastalo nirvimnam jiva tatra prajayate tato nana rasu jajne jivayo yodik gamyate.
Is this the 18th shloka?
18. That is not
18.
18th shloka? Okay, go ahead. Translation.
Okay, let me read it, Mataji, because I'm making slides for Canto 2. So please, Mataji, go ahead.
Yeah, I will tell you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
No, Hare Krishna.
Paravata Anyabrita Sarasa Chakravaka Dhyatu Hamsa Shuka Titim Bahirnam Kolahalo Viramate Chittamatramuchair Brengadipe Harikatamiva Gayamane. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Harikatha. So there's a word called Harikatha, right? So, and they are talking about like Hamsa Sukha. So, Chakravaha. So these are words which are unique by themselves, right? So Chakravaha there was, in fact, I remember when I was small, everyone used to use the word Chakravaha because there used to be a serial by name Chakravaha in Telugu. That is when I realized there's a very special word called Chakravaha. And also, something where it considers its partner very close to its heart. And also here they are talking about Shuka, means happiness, right? Hamsa means obviously very pure devotee. So all these are coming in. So they are talking about all the beings over there, irrespective of now the beings when you're talking about, it's not only the human form of beings. There are also dogs, cats, trees, plants, everything has life. Milk, the so-called jada here also has life there. So primary task over there is Shravana, right? So even the birds over there are preferring Harikatha. So they are really relishing this. So here they are talking about principle of hearing and chanting. Why is hearing and chanting considered why is it considered core everywhere?
Because the heart in the Lord in the heart, he is able to reach him to the ears. He chants with the mouth and reach to the ears.
Very nice. Shinvata Swakada Krishna.
It can purify our heart.
So basically, the dirt of the heart is getting cleaned. Very nice. One more thing, even scientifically, it is said that the ears is the one which is developed first, right, in the womb. And ear is the organ which fails at the last. So that is why when the patient is in coma, doctors keep recommending that you keep talking. Because even if there is no movement externally, the ear part of it works. So when you're talking about body, mind, and of course soul, but then the one which talks about the mind part, right? Why people like music? Because it's more to do with the mind. It's not just the bodily part, right? It's more the subtle senses which get activated. So the subtle part is taken care by the hearing, right? That is why, can anyone remember only by hearing fell in love with Krishna?
Mataji Rukmani
Rukmani Mataji.
Rukmini vacha Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundaram Shrinvatam te Nirvishya karna vivarer haritunghatapam Rupam drishan drishimatam akilatmalabam Tvaya achyuta vishati chittam apatratam me. So you can imagine what level of hearing foundation, it builds a foundation. She heard from Narada, she heard from people who came and just she fell for him. This is people like us who especially keep telling that Dwapara Yuga, it's easy for Arjuna to fall in love with Krishna because he just probably were sitting and eating together. But we are in Kali Yuga, we never had a chance to see Krishna. So it's quite natural to think that Avajananti Mamunda. In fact, I'm taking 18 days class in the morning at 6 o'clock. And there was one devotee, I think in the 8th chapter, he asked, how do we know that Bhagavad Gita is written by Krishna? Right? How can we believe that Krishna only wrote Bhagavad Gita? What if someone had written it? The reason I'm saying is we are in Kali Yuga, but look at the level of thinking of everyone, right? Even the base is being questioned. Author. So I'm just telling you. And for someone who's come to a class, so imagine for someone who's not even in the class out there, will have thousands of thoughts against the Lord. That is why even Krishna is saying that, right? Avajananti mamuda manusham tannu ashrita hai. Right? So therefore, very, very clearly, everybody is Muna, where they don't even believe in the form of the Lord. So now they are going to talk about how is envy, because what are the two qualities Krishna is telling is unique, or rather is very sweet about Arjuna, which he likes, and which is why he's sharing the confidential knowledge. What are the qualities he's telling?
He was non-envious.
Non-Anasuya. He's not
Non-envious.
He's a
Very, very
non-envious.
anasuye, right? So Sayevaya Maya Tede Yoga Prokta Puratana Bhaktosine Sakacheti comes in the second chapter, right? Why shortlist? But the fourth chapter. But the ninth chapter very clearly talks about anasuye, right? So likewise is the mood in Goloka Vrindavan. Everybody thinks Radharani is the best, and Radharani thinks somebody else is best. So there is a constant challenge or fight as to who will go. Remember, even the blanket story when I was telling, everybody was spotting on Radharani, you will be able to. Whereas Radharani, even when someone has to spend time with Krishna, she thinks, no, this devotee can serve Krishna better. So she will go and put that devotee close to Krishna. So that is what they are talking about. So there's absolutely no, there is healthy competition, but there's no envy. And everybody over there have the mood of giving the best, just like for children, right? You want to put your child in your best school, give the best treatment for your parents or whatever, right? So likewise over there, everybody wants to give the best because that's what is true love about, right? You want to give the best. So that's all about it. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'll say the
Hare
next
Krishna
one.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Mandara Kunda Kuru Botala Champakarna. Let me read from here. Punnaga Naga Bhakunam Bhuja Parijata Gande Archita Tulsi Tulsi Kabharanena Tasya Yasmin Stapaha Sumanaso Bahu Manayati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So there are a lot of flowers or plants like Mandara, Kunda, Kurabot, Pada. I don't know any of that. I know Mandara, of course, Champakarna. So all of these are there. Of course, all of us know one flower, which is the Parijata, which is very special. So we also know how special Parijata is. It's not even there on earth, right? It was brought from heaven. But in spite of that, Tulasi, right, stands non-competitive, right? She's supreme and extremely dear to Krishna. Obviously, wife of Krishna as well. But there is no envy for flowers, right? They don't tell, wow, I have a very beautiful flower. You don't even have flowers to see. Why not me? They don't have that feeling. So devotional service actually determines it's not about how you can demean someone. It's about how you can promote someone, right? So everybody is conscious about their service and everyone wants to honor somebody's service. This is very, very important. True greatness actually does not talk about just external beauty. If you see Tulasi, it's just a normal plant, right? If someone you show Tulasi, there's nothing so beautiful about Tulasi. Just we start seeing the beauty of Tulasi because we started feeling the inner connect with Tulasi. But otherwise, if you see it as a plant, there is no flower, there is no fruit, there's nothing colorful about it, right? So it's just like a leaf. And the the manjari, whatever, right? So that's also like dry. So all I'm trying to tell is there's nothing to stand out by the look, but people don't care about the look. They all see about how devotional somebody is, right? So I'm sure all of you all know the greatness of Tulasi. So I'm going to jump that part to you all, right? So that's the beauty of Vaikunth as against here. So I was just chatting up with a doctor from a small town. I was telling her, why don't you join for the yatra? And she was saying that there's so much of competition here. I said, small town, I thought there's no competition. She said, medicine is a profession where whether it's small town or big town, there's a lot of competition. People start wondering. And then I realized, probably since she's in a small town, she's telling, but otherwise, so much is true with any line, right? Whichever line. For example, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was one of the best fighters. What did they do to Bruce Lee? Can anyone tell?
So,
They conspired and killed him.
kill
Mataji.
him.
Excellent. They conspired and killed him because nobody can beat him. Right? So there was an interview with Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and when they were asked who's a better fighter, right? So both of them you immediately said it was Bruce Lee. Why? Can anyone tell why? Can anyone tell why did they tell that?
Because he was more disciplined and his passion was there of fighting.
All three are very
discipline.
passionate. In fact, Jet Li, I think, was like number one or number two karate fighter in Hong Kong. So in fact, he was
Because
called
of
for
the
by the
practice,
president.
Mataji.
Without eating.
Disciplined and practiced.
Okay, small twist. All three were disciplined, but the answer they gave is Bruce Lee fought the unknown, right? Whereas Jackie Chan fought the known. If you see, most of the time he fights with the known set of people, and Jet Li fought with his equal. Because in the ring, when you go in a fight, they normally will make sure that there is a particular weight bracket which is maintained. They have a small build, medium build, large build. So someone, when you're competing, it's the same thing. So they know that to an extent about the competitor. They'll do the homework. They would have seen some videos of what they fought. Whereas Bruce Lee, literally, they had fights in the road, right? So he never knew the enemy. The reason I'm saying this is because, of course, this is on a different note, but don't take it as a fight in the fright sense. I'm talking about talent point of view. Likewise, in Goloka Vrindavan, everybody had their talent and everybody saw the greatness of someone, right? So they always felt this person was good in this. And therefore, the Krishna should always have the best. So even senior devotees or anyone who starts loving Krishna, right, they will start getting into that mood. Krishna should have the best. I still remember, like my mom, my aunt used to try variety. My mom used to do a lot of variety, but my aunt used to try things she used to watch TV and she used to bring a mix of Chinese and all that. So when we used to my mom used to go up and find out how it is to make the similar style for us. I saw her doing that even day before yesterday. The reason is actually mother, father, whoever, right? They want to learn what the child likes because they want to give the best, right? So the same mood people in Goloka have because their love over there is very true. So therefore, they want to give the best to Krishna. So that is the reason. Now, the typical question which comes up in most places is that, they have a lot of attraction, not between each other, but towards Krishna. Even the best of couple gets attracted. A classic example of this is Rasa dance, right? Even though many of them knew that they went for Krishna, even though, they never felt jealous because they were also equally interested in Krishna. Right. So, but they never had a sensual attraction towards each other. But this question comes up in the material world, not too much among the girls, but I've at least noticed among the men. The first topic is how, then what pleasure do they have? The reason is in the mindset. Not that women are any less in terms of this, but then at least they're not very vocal. But what happens is the mindset, right? So we are knowing only 2-3 types of pleasure. Therefore, we will only relate to that. We cannot relate to a pleasure beyond that because we've never seen it, right? So, so I was talking to one of my friends. So when she gave me a very beautiful example, right? And her example was so superb, right? She was just mentioning that she said, I'm not able to relate to in a particular relationship with Krishna. I'm going to stick to Dasya Bhav. So I thought she's just telling because that's what the Shastra says. The time she told me one thing, she said, I'm sticking to Dasya Bhav, not because the Shastras are alone saying. It's because, unfortunately, she didn't have great parents and she had a very, very messed up husband. So she said, I've never seen the Vatsalya feeling. I've never seen the Madhurya also. So to me, I have never even seen that. So I don't know how it exists. So I don't know what it is at all. Right? Are you able to relate to what I'm telling? So she said that the only thing I know is I worked for someone and someone has worked for me. So I know the Dasya Bhav. To an extent, I understand Sakya Bhav, which is friendship. But the other two Bhavam, I can't even imagine because it's never been in my radar, right? So now just because somebody is not having that in a radar, can anyone tell that no, Madhurya Bhav is fake? That does not exist. Of course, it is still fake in the material world. I am not denying. I'm not telling that any couple, is going to be really, because I think at the beginning of the marriage, right? I think it's a typical case where all husbands and wives tell that within 1 year, first 1 year of marriage, if anything happens to you, I will not live any moment. How many of us have felt like that or said that? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
Yes.
glad I'm not alone. Right? And my room is locked. So try that. I've heard and we've said that and all. I've also thought like that. But as we go into Krishna conscious, I had a very funny conversation in the morning wherein, Tanishya ma'am was telling, hey, I think got a message from the temple, for Namanishta Prabhu, we're going to do a cake cutting. We have to ask Prabhu in the sense, our husband, to come and do the cutting. She doesn't use the word Prabhu, she uses the word husband. Because normally, Prabhu, right, we tell that we should not get possessive, but we get into a mode. Many of the Matajis, to avoid calling husband, we start telling my Prabhu, my Prabhu, my Prabhu. Somewhere we are trying to stick the my again to Prabhu and make it very possessive, talking about the husband part. So she was asking me, would you like to call your husband and do the cake cutting? I said, why? You want me to cut me into pieces? We were just having a conversation, right? And then she went to my Ma, your brother isn't her husband. I used to address as Bhaiya. So she said, your brother also is very difficult. So what should we do? I said, Mother, you don't get, then who should we do? I said, don't complicate it. Call the best husband, right? Who's a Param Purusha. Keep it before him and do the cutting. Okay, nobody can even question, what's wrong, because nobody can beat that. Can anyone tell that my husband is better than Krishna? Anybody in this class? Anybody in this world? Yes or no? Nobody? Right? Because if anybody says that, it's avajananti mamula, because nobody is going to beat that. So having relished that, and the reason I'm telling you is just like how she says, no, all parents love and all, we cannot, I don't know. It doesn't exist. Husband love and all is not true. Right? Because there is, obviously, we've all relished the spouse love, we relish parents' love, so we will be able to relate. Maybe the intensity of love in Goloka Vrindavan, we may not be able to understand. But the feel of it, we understand. Are we in line? Are we in sync? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, Mataji.
Someone in
Yes,
an
Mataji.
orphanage or somebody like her has never experienced that. So she's not able to even understand that, right? So no matter how much I tell, she'll look at me blank, and she's not wrong. Likewise, my favorite sweet, probably that's the only sweet I like, is Badam Alwa, right? So I thought, okay, I should give the best. And to an orphanage, I once gave Badam Alwa. Nobody liked it. Nobody liked it. Take my word, nobody liked it. So at that time, there was one person who came and told that this is very rich, and they never tasted it, right? So this taste is too new and too rich for them to even to whether to understand it's palatable or not. Except the brain doesn't work because they've never felt it and they never wanted it either. So the reason I'm saying is sometimes even when you consider it as the best, may not be fine for somebody else, right? Applies to everyone. Like for example, you may tell gulab jamun is the best thing, right? That's an example. I will never get tempted with gulab jamun, even if you keep one. So why the noodle issue? Sorry, just 1 second.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So sorry. So likewise, you're talking about the sex pleasure, right? Is the one which we will think that is the highest pleasure because we do not have too many pleasures here, right? So therefore, or whatever, drinking, or you go and ask a guy who's a drunkard, he will say, "Masta hai." Just have no idea unless you drink, right? How many of you all have experience? I've seen in office also. Have you ever drunk? No. You can never imagine how excellent you'll feel when you drink. How many of them have you heard this dialogue? Yes. Most of the time who drink will tell that, right? Especially when someone drinks, they will ensure that you also drink. Otherwise, they feel very guilty. Now, likewise, what happens is people here relate. But if you take even in the material world, you have a lot of brahmacharis, a lot of sannyasis who just don't want the pleasure at all because they don't see the pleasure, right? Because that's how we see. Because we are still in those modes and we are trying to relish one of these pleasures. It can be vacho vegam, manaso vegam, vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jigva vegam, utara prashta vegam, etan vegan vishesatira sarvam apiman prativim saseshyat. So our mind is corrupted. So one of these pleasures is what we relate. Not really, right? So that because the pleasures over there are so high, all of this are just basically out of the window for them, right? Just like there is this particular shloka, right? What is it? Which is that shloka? Param drishtva nivartate. Right. Thank you so much. Complete the shloka. Vishaya vinivartante. Somebody?
या विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
In a very crude manner, when Namanishta Prabhu was mentioning about this, I told, yes, Prabhu. I'm talking about the initial case, right? I told, coffee has never been in my radar. I never used to like coffee from childhood. Never liked to sit next to a person. But tea was more habitual because in office, they used to serve tea. So I thought that tea I'm used to, not, I have it in the morning, but sometime at 11 o'clock or 12. So that time, I told Prabhu, yes, Prabhu, Paramdrishta Nivartite. So I decided to give up tea. It was difficult. So daily 1 week I had badam milk at 11 o'clock. Now, after having 11 o'clock badam milk for 1 week, 8th day when I had tea, I myself didn't like the tea. Right? That was a very crude example, and Prabhu was smiling and he was very happy with my example. Today, if I read that example, or I keep thinking, what a fool I should have been. Right? What does actually Paramdrishta actually meant different, right? It meant about Krishna. But even to understand that, my brain did not capture. You're getting my point. So our Paramdrishta is between coffee, tea, and badam milk. Badam milk is higher. In a very crude way, I'm telling. And that was okay for Prabhu at a one level of understanding. But today, when you look back and think, oh my God, what a dumb example did I even give? So what over there happened is people over there were having very higher happiness. So all this were negligible. So they never even made it. Just like sunlight. You don't even care about a lamp when there is sunlight, right? So that's the analogy given. So that's exactly the point of reference out here. And there are thousands of Lakshmis, means everybody is a devotee who's focusing only on Krishna. But still, what are they yearning for? So let's go for 22.
In 20, I think, no? 20?
We finished all that. We are moving to 22.
That Sankulan we have not done. No?
Okay, let's just do the, yeah, go ahead, but I think we might, yeah, just go ahead.
Yeah,
with the
explain, Mataji, explain.
Don't want,
yeah, go ahead with the translation.
don't want that shloka, is it? Don't want the shloka?
We'll be running out of time. I would love that, but then the session will go on till 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Only
Right.
translation, yeah. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha travel in their airplanes made of lapis, lazuli, emerald, and gold. Although crowded by their consorts, who have large hips and beautiful smiling faces, they cannot be stimulated to passion by their mirth and beautiful charms. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So just like how we have bike, we have cycle, we have car, high-speed car and all that, they had aeroplanes. And they were all very studded. Like today we have, emerald green car or a red car, sapphire blue. So they had actual emerald, sapphire studded in their planes. So they can talk about the richness which is there in Vaikuntha. Women with large waists are considered to be beauty. There's a structure, right? My daughter was talking about this. She was talking about some T-shaped body, V-shaped body, triangle-shaped body. I don't know much about that. Maybe if you ask the current generation, Gen Z or Gen X, they will be able to explain better. But it's good. So somebody who has large waist are considered to be very, very sexually or sensually attractive. So that is what Prabhupada has highlighted. So let's go on to the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The ladies in the Vaikuntha planets are as beautiful as goddess of fortune herself. Such transcendently beautiful ladies, their hands playing with lotuses and their leg bangles tinkling, are sometimes seen sweeping the marble walls, which are bedecked at intervals with golden borders, in order to receive the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji.
So, question to you all. What was the role of Jaya Vijaya?
They were the gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers, guard the door.
Right. Who goes to Vaikuntha? Who goes to Vaikuntha?
Sanat Kumar.
No,
Brahma
not
Kumar.
that.
Sanat Kumar.
Yeah, that
The
is fine. But
devotees only.
devotees, right? So devotees go to Vaikuntha. Do they have any restriction in meeting the Lord in Vaikuntha?
No, they don't.
No.
Right? So why do we need security guard in the first
Because
place?
there may be like Sanat Kumaras, no, the impersonalists who can still go there, but they are not allowed to enter.
No, we
Mataji for Seva.
will leave Sanat Kumaras for 5 minutes. I mean, forget that
Mataji for
incident.
Seva. To get
Excellent.
some
Seva.
Seva.
We may
Very
have
nice,
Serving the Lord.
we may
Seva,
have the
because
mystic yogis or something like that, Mataji.
a very nice answer, but technically a mystic yogi cannot enter Vaikuntha. I'll come to Sanat Kumara in a minute. Very nice point. So I'm going to drill this down. So security guards are not required at all. There's no need for security guard. Nobody can even enter Vaikuntha. Forget about Jaya Vijaya. Nobody can actually enter. So then why do we need security guards? It's because that's a seva they've opted. So it's a seva which never existed. Like that, Lakshmi, there was no requirement for cleaning the floor, but they just want to pick up the seva. Just like Ram, right? When one day Lakshman and Sita thought we should give a break to Hanuman. So they made sure that all sevas are taken care. Hanuman comes and he's so depressed, he doesn't know what to do. And, Lord Ram yawns and Hanuman goes and does this. When he's yawning, right? Because he finds seva everywhere. Is it required especially for someone like Lord Ram when he's yawning to do this, not required, right? I mean, he can do this himself if he wants to. But Hanuman makes use of every opportunity to serve. Just like that, Lakshmis are having clean floor, but they want to serve, right? So they are serving. There's no opportunity to serve technically because there is no need for the service. Because when you think, you will get it. When you have a tree, you want a mango fruit, you will get it. Apple, you will get it. You want a mango juice, you'll get it. But the fact is, people want to serve and therefore they try and work. Just like a classic example of having maids. You have so many maids, everything is done. But then when it comes to your daughter, you personally want to take care, right? So, because you just want to do a lot of things for people whom you love, right? So, here queens are doing it, and I'm just trying to relate that story because that's exactly the story which is going to be there. So, that's the concept which is sticking here as well. Yeah, next one. So, with their beauty, what are they going to do? Let's see. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. The
Yeah,
goddess
Hare
of fortune worship the Lord in their own gardens of offering tulsi leaves on the coral paved banks of transcendental reservoirs of water. While offering worships to the Lord, they can see on the water the reflection of the beautiful faces with raised nose, and it appeared that they have become more beautiful because of Lord's kissing their faces.
Very beautiful. So, you know the story of Putana, right?
Yes.
So you all of us know Putana. Now there are two things. Okay, there's a point again. A detour we are taking. Now Putana, she entered, right, and she was so beautiful. They said Kama beauty because the beauty of Putana not only bet the men, but even the women. You know, our acharyas have explained that they were telling, "Hey, you thought you were the most beautiful person." You know, she's outbeating, and they were also comparing her beauty outbeating. Tilotama, Ramba, and all. They were telling, "Oh, Tilotama, you thought you were the most beautiful girl, but she is like beating you. Oh, Ramba," they were trying to even talk about the demisence of heaven. Such was the beauty of Putana. Now, I'm going to ask again a question. Putana, before coming to Krishna, what did she do?
She poisoned her breast.
It's all babies
Yeah,
born.
but prior to that, yeah, she poisoned the breast and did what?
Changed herself.
And
then she went to many other kids, babies, and she tried to feed them and kill them.
Kill. They died or not?
They died.
They died.
Right? So now tell me one thing. There must be a disconnect here, right? So children died, agreed. She poisoned, fine. She entered, fine. All that is fine. How will they die? Because there is, acharyas have explained so beautifully. Over there, at that point in time, there were a lot of austerities. People used to give charities and all that, right? So they talk about punya. Every time we talk about, we should not worry about any kind of punya, right? We don't want to take bad karma, which is vikarma. We don't want good karma also. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Mataji.
Why? Because
Well, because we
Putana
have to
had
go
That
to
also
heaven.
binds us,
Because we
Mataji.
be entangled here,
That also
Mataji.
bind
That
entanglement.
this is what we've been telling, which is true. This is true, but there is one more step to it. Putana was a specialist. You know what specialist? Puta means to remove the punya. The word puta actually means absorb the punya. So Putana had the speciality of taking away the punya. You will tell Mataji, how is this possible? Mataji, it's so stupid. I'll give you an example which you will be able to relate to. You know Karna? All of you all know Karna, right? And Karna was at the wheel. Karna was at the wheel, and Arjuna's arrows were not able to kill him because he'd done a lot of charity, and the charity was protecting him. That his life air could not go out of the body, and therefore Krishna says, "Please give your charity." People bitch about it, but he was actually being nice. He said, "Please give the charity, only then you will at least go." You get what I'm saying? So there is a concept of giving your punya. You're able to relate to what I'm saying? So the punya can be given, which is what even Amrish Maharaj also tells, no, whatever's good I've done, let it go. Right? So you can carry forward your punya, you can do punya, you can give the punya to the thing. Therefore, the children were not saved because the punya was taken. Now you will understand what is the need for spirituality. Because the punya can be taken from you, but spirituality cannot be taken from you. You're able to relate because these children are definitely from the pious houses, but not, that is, they had paradharma, they followed charity, all the concepts. but they never had paro dharma of worshipping the Lord, ultimate. If that was there, the children would have not been killed. This is what is beautifully explained by Acharyas. I heard it somewhere recently and I just thought I don't know whether it's in the context or out of the context, but I just thought I'll share it with you because when we are talking about this power of spirituality, I just wanted to connect as to how powerful a spirituality can be. And then how beautiful now, if our demisens are so beautiful, if a demon can become so beautiful, which can outbeat the apsaras of heaven, how beautiful the Vaikuntha Vasas will. This is one example which you can imagine. And how punya, not only to go to Goloka, even in Bhuloka is unsafe. Because many times we think the punya will save us. We don't know. We can have Putana who can remove the punya. Right? So, are you able to relate? And I remember in Kerala, somebody from Kerala can support this. They were telling black magic and all that. The first thing they do is they remove the punya. How they do and all, don't ask me, it's some tantra. But they can possibly remove. And Mr. Prabhu's first statement was that anything they can remove, but they can never remove bhakti. And I experienced this counter. When we all had been, I think 5 years back to Mayapur, we had been to the Jagannath temple. You remember that somewhere near Mayapur? I'm not getting that place. Rajpur. Thank you so much. Right? So I think all of us from our ISKCON Mangaluru were having food and all that. So I, we was quickly serving them. And while they were eating, few of us, like not many, came and I thought, let me go and pray my obeisances because we were largely coordinating the stuff. For a moment, not that I have bhakti or anything, for just a second, right? I just close my eye and pray, right? For a millisecond. And first of all, I don't understand Bengali. When I opened my eye, some language was going on. I didn't understand also. All I understood is, I had a garland on me and there was one Mataji, not our devotee. Well, like literally she was screaming and screeching. I only understood she was very pissed off with me and I had no idea why. And she was telling that belonged to her. That's all I understood. And I had a couple of our devotees who were telling, Mataji, no, don't. And the Pujari was telling, chordo. I understood what he spoke. He said, don't do it. It's okay. It's for her. It's destined. Only then I understood that invariably, I think she's asked for a mala and the Pujari had, they usually throw, right? It invariably had come on me and she wanted. So I said, okay, no problem, Mataji. So can I take, so they asked me, they were asking, we'll take half. She said, no. I said, okay, can I take one flower? She said, no. I want a whole thing. That time the Pujari said, I'll give another thing. It's already gone to her. She said, no, I only want this. So when I just got out to give it to her, they were all saying no. So finally, Pujari was saying, why did you give? I said, it's okay, Prabhu. That time he made one statement. He said, she can take the flower, but she cannot take the love. Not that I have love or I have bhakti, but I'm just saying, incidentally, the statement which you made. She can take the flowers and go. She can take the thread. She can take it. But end of the day, what will go with her is only the thread, not the love, right? And then that was a very blessed moment because he told that what Krishna and Baladev wished cannot go wrong. So he said, please wait. And then he took the garland from Baladev, went to Krishna's hand, and then that came to me. So that was probably the best moment in my life because that was my first connect or counter with Balram, right? So why I'm saying this is because no matter whatever you do, whatever counter you have, spirituality is something which cannot be taken away from you. No matter whoever plans, plots, no matter any amount of Maya, Pilisunyam, or Pilisunyam is called black magic in English, all of that cannot take that, right? So therefore, coming back to the main story, now you can imagine this is spiritual world. I'm talking about spirituality here in the Tamasika world. Imagine spirituality in spiritual world. That will have the power. And in spite of having the beauty, they never want to move anyone except Krishna. They've been hoping that Krishna will fall for them, and they keep looking at the waters to just make sure that Krishna's kiss enhances their beauty. So that shows that they are so jubilant, they're looking for it, right? Now you'll be wondering how the kiss will enhance the beauty. For all those who have a doubts, please, after you go to Goloka, please look at your face after Krishna kisses, and then you tell me. I don't know either, right? So now moving on to 23. Already 3-4 of them have already gone to Goloka waiting for the kiss. 2-3 of them have already mentally got the kiss. So I'm glad. 23. Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead, somebody.
Hare Krishna. It is very much regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the description of the Vaikuntha planets, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear and which bewilder one's intelligence. Those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and talk of the material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. Thank you, Mataji.
Very beautiful. Why? You'll be asking. So now going back to the previous thing, we are talking about worship of Tulasi in center, which means that in spite of many beautiful plants, we are talking about Tulasi. In spite of many beautiful looking girls, the focus is only on Krishna. He's the only Parampurusha. Now coming back to Gramya Kada, what is wrong? So what is Gramya Kada? What is politics? Do we talk about the fact that the politician today wore a very nice dress? Or will you tell that lady was so beautiful? This is never the topic which we talk. We bitch. Yes or no? If the topic is not about Krishna, tell me genuinely in 1 hour, won't we talk things which are not wanted, unwarranted topics?
Yes,
Honestly.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
basically, yeah, we get into bitching, we talk about bad things, we talk about
Gossiping.
negative things, gossiping, yes, all of that, right? So kukada, right? Kukada means all junk stories, right? Kutakada. So all, the materialistic stories, because we'll be wondering why materialistic stories, is it wrong? Materialistic stories are not wrong, but we will talk wrong about the materialistic stuff. We talk because we are wrong. So we continue. So what, Mataji? This is Kali Yuga. It will not have an impact. Trust me, it will have an impact. It will have an impact so badly because most of us, sometimes we will have a bad dream. Occasionally, when we get up, have you felt our heart is heavy? Even though we know the dream is not true, even though we all know we have come to full conscience, we have a hangover. Yes or no? Honest answer.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Very true.
It could be a small argument in the dream. It has not even happened. I'm not even talking about reality of thing happening. Why? Because the one in the mind dominates one in the subconscious dominates our conscious dominates our body, which is why the elders tell you don't talk bad. It's dangerous, but you don't even think bad because what we think will come in our action. If we hear, and this has happened for me, I don't know how many of you all are really strong. I generally, it's not that I don't like bitching, but just that I am very occupied in the whole day. So my chance of bitching becomes very less. So before getting into spirituality, sometimes very close relative, I don't want to because someone hears YouTube, so I don't want to quote the name. Bitches, no, out of force we listen, right? I won't comment, but I listen. But later I've noticed whomever that person is bitching about, she will go and talk comfortably, but I will have a mindset to go and talk in a free mind. I will still be talking, but my talk will become more of a pretense. Are you able to relate? So let's say that I'll give a classic example, you'll understand. So let me tell, like I am talking to Priyadashini Mataji. Let's say I'm constantly bitching about Hari Priya Mataji, constantly. And Priyadashini Mataji does not want to hear, but she doesn't want to tell no. What will happen is then tomorrow Hari Priya Mataji comes, maybe I will be very sweet. But Priyadashini Mataji will have the discomfort. From heart, she will not be somewhere, there will be a stopper. Not that she will hold a grudge, but neither will she be free. Agree, disagree?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Sure.
Right?
Yes,
Because it's happened to me.
Fire.
Right? Because there is some kind of a subconscious domination which happens. So that is why they say that these are things which are very strong influences. So just like junk food, no matter wherever you buy the junk food from. And my daughter was visiting one of our doctors, right? He said, no junk food. She said, no, I don't take junk food. He said, okay. Then she said, can you define junk food? He said, anything outside the house is junk. She said, no, but if at all I'll buy a bowl of rice. He said, anything outside the house is junk. Because then he explained to her, telling that the oil they use is bad. It's reheated oil. So the water they use is bad. So that is why it's called junk. It is not necessarily you eat a French fry or you eat what do you call a fried pakoda. That's not what it is. Even if you're using anything, it becomes junk. Same way, we do not know the value of junk food versus nourished food. People like me have started understanding, not following, because we start feeling tired as compared to the previous generation. And our current generation, which are 20s, are more tired. 18s and 20s, teens are more tired than us. Why? Because of the food, right? We spend so much of time in politics. And politics, I'm not talking about the political affairs of the company or the country. We're talking about the politics around us. So these actually automatically will lead to a thing. So obviously, when your mind is polluted, your actions are polluted. Kali Yuga does give value to actions, right? So, and second thing is Kali Yuga has a benefit. What is the benefit about the thoughts in Kali Yuga?
Thoughts are not executed.
We are not punished for the
Thoughts are
thoughts.
executed, the
Like
bad ones are not.
earlier for the thought, like even Brahma.
Yes.
Yes. So, and we take Chota Haridas Thakur. But for us, we are spared now.
But if you think positive, you get credits, which never used to happen in Satyayuga. Satyayuga, only actions will give you credits, but in Kali Yuga, even positive actions give credits. Positive thoughts also give you credits, right? So this is something which we should start practicing, at least to get credits, if not for any reason, right? So let's go to 24th sloka.
Lord Brahma said, "My dear demigods, the human form of life is of such importance that we also desire to have such life. For in the human form, one can attain perfect religious truth and knowledge. If one is in this human form of life, does not understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his abode, it is to be understood that he is very much affected by the influence of external nature."
Very nice. So this particular shloka I saw somewhere, and I think this is exactly, I think if you remember, right, we were practicing this shloka, I think what, day before yesterday or something? Yesterday or day before? Yeah, yesterday, I think. So let me just find that shloka in that. Right? What a time the shloka opened. See, Krishna is very powerful. I just clicked and usually if you go to page 1, and if you see, do you remember we were practicing this shloka yesterday? Nirdehamadyam sulabam sudurlabam plavam sukalpam guru karnadaram maya anukulena nabasvateritam puman bhavabdim nataresa atmaha. Come on, everybody.
Hृदयेहमाद्यं
सुलभं सुदुर्लभं लवं सुकल्पं गुरुकर्णधारं लमयानुकूलेन नभास्वतेरितं पुमान् भवाब्धिं न तरेत् आत्मः.
So very beautiful sloka. Nirdehamadyam sulabam sudurlabam. It's easy, right? But what is tough? Plavam means boat. Sukalpam, perfect boat. Guru Karna Dharam means Guru Karna Dharam means he is a spiritual master and the captain. Our spiritual master becomes the captain of the boat. Maya Anukulena. Maya means for him, right? By me. Anukulena means obviously favorable. Nabhasva Teritam. Nabhasva means winds, right? Which are favorable. Puman means for the person. Bhava means, our material existence, right? And Adya means ocean. So we are in that Samudra. So what is happening? We are actually stuck in the, and Atmaha means killer of the soul. So therefore, if we don't give spirituality, automatically we are going to become the killer of the soul. So that is what is being explained here. Right? So, kacha kacha. So why we're talking about this is, the human form is a great boon. And in the spiritual world, it doesn't matter whether you're a dog or a cat, because everyone has an equal position, equal share, equal wallet, equal respect. But here, it is not about respect. It's not that we're looking down on an animal, but an animal does not have the thought to question, who am I? Right? It will probably survive, it will do spirituality, but it will not be able to connect to the Lord. My cat is very, very spiritual. Every time I have a class, we'll come and sit. Right? It will go and sit next to Bhagavad Gita. But the fact is, it can still not read Bhagavad Gita, nor will it be able to understand that maybe if I read Bhagavad Gita, I'll go to Goloka. That is what is the difference. So this is a perfect analogy we just read yesterday and so handily it came. It's so rare and it's valuable because provided we go back to Godhead. The demigods are also wishing to be born here. Why?
To do devotional service?
To do devotional service. We have the example of Brahma coming to Puri to have the prasadam. That's why there's no Ekadasi there. Because he was
Very
taking
nice.
the prasadam
Also,
from the dog's place, when the dog was eating, he took the prasadam there.
That is why Brahma is born as Haridas Thakur. Very beautiful. And also, if you talk about even Tirupati and all, I think 1 hour they close for the demigods, right? Because the devas will come. Because the demigods are so powerful. In spite of being powerful, they feel that the body which we are made is more handy for spirituality. Right? This was one Pujari also who told me. He said that they are able to feel, like we are able to feel more because we have a grosser body than theirs. So they said the extent to which they also have deity worship and all that, but the extent of deity worship we can relish, they are not able to relish. That's why they come over here. Right? So let's move on to the 25th shloka.
Persons whose bodily features change in ecstasy and who breathe heavily and perspire due to hearing the glories of the Lord are promoted to the kingdom of God, even though they do not care for meditation and other austerities. The kingdom of God is above the material universes and it is desired by Brahma and other demigods. Hare Krishna.
Right? Animisham, right? So automatically spirha, niya, so sila. So already the body, everything automatically goes, which means what? They're talking about experiencing Mahabhava, right? They are talking about all the 8 Ashta Vikaras which you can feel in the body. You have tears rolling, you have heart beating. So tears for us also will roll, but that will be on a very rare day, right? Suddenly when we see a very beautiful deity, or when we don't have a chance to come back, we feel upset. Or when we hear a very nice kirtan. So most of time, this is not because of our emotion, it is also the impact of the other person. Other person's bhava you experience is a reaction, right? So that is why they talk about it. But then if we start feeling that kind of a symptom, even if we are not going to follow any of the austerities, especially the chapter 6 Bhagavad Gita, you don't have to do, automatically we are going there, which is what they say, right? Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu tat punya padam pratishva atyeti sarvam idam viditva yogi parantayam upeti chayam. So basically what we are talking about is, obviously you don't have to do all this because your bhakti will outweigh. So just listening. We are again talking about how hearing becomes very, very important. So automatically when you are having the concept of hearing, that relishing, many times people in the beginning are very curious to hear, but if it's the same kada, people will get, will lose a heart, right? One thing I will totally appreciate this team. I noticed on the day 1, I think that attendance, not the one, but then the first 10th day, it was 50. And Prabhu was also telling, maybe it will come down a bit, don't worry, but it has not come down even by an inch. The same 50. That means there's a uniform love. Even though many of you all here have already read Bhagavatam many times, many of you all are preachers yourself, because that love is so high that you all keep increasing. And at 8 to 9:30, when all of us are so sleepy, you all are so active, and you'll keep the speakers going, is because there's a lot of spiritual devotion which you all have, which even though there are many people who may be studying with you all in other batches or even higher batches, but they don't have the dedication. I've seen that because I've been literally preaching various levels, right? From level 1 to... So that kind of a bhava is pretty rare. And that bhava will automatically take one to Goluka. So very bright chance, right? This sloka indirectly tells that you'll have a very strong chance to Goluka. Haribol, yeah. So still Balaram, very strong chance. See, if he has to come, if he has to select which batch should I pick up in the flight, now you all know. So the reason why it is important to be interactive is Seva is the mercy of the Lord. Getting Seva is not easy. So it's like someone giving a flower of the Lord or Charnamrita or Prasadam or Chadari. You don't tell no, right? I mean, no fool will say no. So keeping the same way, if you get a Seva, you should never tell no, because it's a direct mercy of Lord. So that's a point which you should remember. So, so anything to do with hearing, it talks about subtle sense, mind, right? And it increases mode of goodness. So I wanted to ask you all this. Many times, even if you are very tired, and sometimes many times I'm also tired, but then I always tell that at least we'll do one shloka. Can anyone tell me why?
In the mercy of the Lord.
Oh, mercy will come
Mataji,
even in
maybe
the class.
go in
And
that
we become so
remembrance.
smart,
Right,
Mataji,
right, we go
we
through
can follow it for half an hour.
Because we are offering prayers through the shloka.
That we do Mangalacharna.
Mataji,
Take the
for
guide.
remembering, Mataji, for remembering before we go to bed. So we remember the Lord.
We are
And
doing Krishna Kada. No, I don't have to do a shloka. Anyway, the Krishna Kada is also going to remind you. I don't need to do a separate shloka to make you remember.
Because this is a prayer by the devotees or for the devotees.
yeah.
That's why it's more.
All the story, whatever you're telling is true, but there's one reason. Though my original reason was different. I was doing with an intention that you all can make your orals easier. That was the idea of my motive. But there's another reason which I heard, which I would love to share. So I'm just waiting to hear if anybody will give me that reason.
It will nourish our.
Sorry?
It will nourish our heart.
What will happen? Why? What will happen? It will polish your heart. What was the answer you said? Nourish your heart. Very close answer. Yes. Very close answer.
Even in sleep, we will remember the same sloka. Like,
very happy if you remember. I don't remember. But anyway. So basically what happens is the more you chant the shloka, your mood of goodness increases. I heard very recently, I didn't know that. So now anybody who's cursing me, telling Mother, you boring Mother, you're doing sloka. To finally, why I'm not shutting the system and doing sloka, now I have an answer. I'll tell you, mode of goodness, right? So it's very nice. So whatever is your mode, you're dominant. And imagine as you're going towards the night, your mode of tamas is. But when you're, I'm not meaning night or morning, but overall I'm saying, the more shlokas you hear, I'm not telling you have to practice, you have to thorough, you have to by heart and all. The more you start reading the shloka, whichever accent, whichever way, your goodness increases. This is something which I heard recently. I thought it's worth sharing. So,
Haribol.
Hare
Namo
Krishna,
sincere.
right?
Hare Krishna,
Lot
Mataji.
of,
Anartha
lot of
Nivarti,
things.
Mataji.
Huh? You said that? Sorry, I missed out. Hare Krishna.
Anartha Nivarti, Mataji. Purifies heart. Hare Krishna.
Purifies heart. Anartha Nivriti is one, but I didn't hear that answer though. But many of you all told many answers which are very close. But I thought this was sort of a direct answer which I heard. I thought I'll directly tell you. 26 translations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandat Pranam. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus the great sages Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar, upon reaching the above mentioned Vaikuntha in the spiritual world, by dint of their mystic yoga performance, perceived unprecedented happiness. They found that the spiritual sky was illuminated by highly decorated airplanes, piloted by the best devotees of Vaikuntha, and was predominated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Bhashayate Suryo. Very nicely read. What is that shloka? Someone.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न
Asaya Suryo.
Today you are very excited, right? Natat Bhashyate Suryo na Shashanka na Pavaka, Tat Gatva na Nivatante, Tattamam Paramama, because you know Brahma Jyoti. First time when I read that, I'd be thinking, no light, no tube light, how you will do? This was the first thought which came. I did not know about Brahma Jyoti, right? So I'm sure if already you all knew, well and good, but your first time, if not in this life, previous life, you would have thought like this. Just, oh, no light, no, because we used to that, right? So Lord is supreme. That's why he's called Vishwa Guru, he's the topmost. He's called Chaitya Guru within the heart. So Vaikuntha has got self-effulgence. I think yesterday there was a question which I would like to ask again. What is the difference between, okay, Mayavadi, okay, between a non-devotee and Mayavadi, who's better, who's worse?
Non-devotee is better. Mayavadi is
Because they can take up
Non-devotee is
Krishna
better,
consciousness
Mataji.
easily. Because Mayavadis, they are already following the Vedas and they have they're
Very
against.
nice. This joker will be a Vedavata Rata, right? He will spoil our thought also. Because if he's a strong speaker, he can beat a conversation if we are a Kanishta Adhikari. To an extent, even if we are at the initial stage of Madhya Adhikari. So if the person is a Mayavadi, he is worse than a non-devotee. So if Sanat Kumara are Mayavadi, how can they even think of entering Vaikuntha?
Mataji, they are Brahmavadis, right?
Very nice. So what is the difference between Mayavadi and Brahmavadi? This was a question Priyadarshini Mataji asked yesterday.
I think Mayavadis are Krishna Aparadis. They are not ready to accept the scriptures. But Brahmavadis, I think they do not know the
effulgence.
They are the first aspect of
become
that is
one with
Brahman.
Brahman effulgence.
Effulgence. They are believer of the Brahman effulgence. That is
So are
outer-
Mayavadis. Mayavadis also believe in Brahman effulgence.
Mayavadis want to become one with God. That is
one with God.
Agreed. So
And they don't believe in the form of God.
There's a small difference between impersonalist and Mayavadis also, right? So Mayavadi thinks everything is Maya. Impersonalists don't believe in the personality of the God, but they believe in Brahma Jyoti. So what is the difference?
They say.
So what is the difference between Brahmavadi and Mayavadi or impersonalist? What role?
I am God.
Brahmavadi, they believe in the God, and Mayavadis, they say that Jagat is Mithya. They have the God has no form.
So basically, the point is Brahmavadis not only believe in God, they also believe in the form of God. They don't have a doubt, but they don't want that. You getting my point? They do not disapprove the fact that the Lord has a form. Impersonalists don't believe in the form of the Lord. They don't even think the form exists. Mayavadis don't even believe, they think everything is Maya. I will go and join, merge. So there's a difference between impersonalists and Mayavadi. In Kali Yuga, I think everything is merged. But Brahmavadi are very different. Brahmavadis are those, boss, I understand. Vadanti tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramateti bhagavaniti sabdete. But I want to be in Brahman effulgence. I want this. Do you understand the difference?
Just like Brahmavadis do not merge.
Brahmavadis also, one second, they also merge because that's what they want. But they are not telling that they don't want, they are not denying the form of the Lord. I will tell you one small example. We call Shankaracharya as Mayavadi, yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
He wrote Gita
Yes, okay.
Mahatmyam. Yes or no? Why are you thinking?
Yes. Yes,
Right?
Mataji.
Right, that is clear. No, there is no disconnect. Eke Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani Sarvani Ekam Tasya Sarvani Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. What does it mean? Forget about the rest of the thing. Eke mantras also use.
One God. There's only
Only one
God.
God. That is
One
Krishna.
God.
One way to
That God is
There is only one
there
service,
is
there is service to Krishna. There
Krishna,
is
right?
one mantra, there is Hari Hari Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, leave the mantra part of it. I'm talking about the form. Very clear, Krishna. Very, very clear, right? There's no doubt on that. So therefore, I'm just coming. Of course, I'm not touching that, but I'm just took that sloka. So it's very clear that the authority of Narayana Krishna is established by him. Authority, even though he has established, his followers don't. So that is why if you don't follow the Guru, you fall. Now coming back to our story, both Sanat Kumaras and Sukadev are Brahmavadi. They are not Mayavadi, which is why they are also devotees. Are you able to understand?
Yes, Mataji.
Right? Which is why to an extent, at least they have an access. Now I want to have a talk. If in Vaikunta, there is no duality, why are we talking about the fact that the two watchmen, Jaya Vijaya, why did they stop? Ideally, they should not, that Seva itself is OC Seva, no? They've taken, why did they stop? What actually stopped them? Why did they stop?
Krishna's desire.
Because they were
A will of the Lord, Mataji.
No, that is fine. You all are all very elevated. That answer is accepted. Will of the
because
Lord,
they
the
were
whole
not
thing
the
is-
devotee of Krishna. They were not the actual lead like how we are, the pure devotees of Krishna. They were indirectly serving Krishna.
They are pure devotees of Krishna. That is why all Vaikunta Vasis are pure devotees of Krishna. Right? You're talking about Jayavadya, right? Otherwise, they are pure devotees of Krishna. They will not have access in Vaikunta.
Mataji, because Kumaras were Brahmavadis, they were not
No, I never asked about Kumaras. I didn't touch that. I'm asking your question. Your answer is right for a different question. I am only asking, Vaikunta, nobody can enter and nobody can stop. They have a free will. What happened to them? Why did they stop? What triggered them to stop them?
What triggered whom, Mataji? The gatekeepers. Because they saw them that they were naked.
That is the actual answer. They are walking like Lord Labakadas. So when you have power, sometimes you get a little disturbed, right? So they were taking the role of the watchman, but they are walking without even acknowledging. They're just going, right? They never even bothered to ask, excuse me, what? So immediately they said, hey, excuse me, stop. Why are you guys walking? Okay. Normally, when you chop the child, what does the child do? What does the child do?
The child will get angry. The child will get angry
and cry, right?
Cry,
Normally,
yes,
the child will
yes.
cry, but these Sanat Kumaras will make us cry. That is what happened, right? They are very powerful children, right? They made them cry. But the moment he gives Saba, what happens next? He cursed, right? He said,
Yes.
Boss, you are misfit, you are feeling envious, though envy does not exist, but that moment, you deserve to go to the jail, go to Guloka, because you are not a deserving candidate here. Go down. What do Vaikunta Vasi, Jaya Vijaya do? What do they do?
Mataji, your voice is getting cut somewhere.
Sorry, what do they do as soon as they get cursed? As soon as
they have to accept and they get
No, before that, what do they do? Before that, what do they do? The moment the curse happened, what do they do?
They wanted to counter curse maybe, Mataji.
They immediately what do they do? They seek forgiveness. They fall on the leg and seek forgiveness.
Pardon. They ask for pardon.
Pardon. Somebody curses us. What will be our reaction? Just imagine.
We will counter curse, no, Mataji?
Absolutely. Counter curse. We will become so violent. Our eyes will be out. I thought little Pagala, what's wrong with you? So out of your head. See
We'll
whether I
curse
say
more,
or not.
Mataji.
I will curse more. Very
We'll
nice.
curse more.
So whether externally I curse or not, internally my mind will start working. What the either externally we will react or internally we'll react. I don't know if there is anyone in this room who will not react. But look at the difference actually. I'm just trying to bring in, right? While we may be spending our rest of the lives finding fault about these two, but look at the reactions, right? Of course, it is overall, it's played by Krishna to pray the Viryalas. I'm leaving that apart. He falls. Immediately, what does Sanat Kumaras do? After
They
cursing?
feel guilty. They feel guilty.
They feel guilty because they have done what? They have done
Wrong.
what?
They've cursed. Yeah, they've cursed
Vaishnava aparad.
Vaishnava
Not that.
aparad.
Their heart skips a beat. Boss, I have done a Vaishnava aparad. So if they have done a Vaishnava aparad, how Krishna will keep quiet? He comes, right? He comes running. Vaishnava,
Yes.
Krishna will tolerate any aparad, but he will not tolerate Vaishnava aparad. If they have done Vaishnava aparad, then how did Krishna keep quiet? He would have questioned, na? Think logic correct, na?
Yes. Because both the parties were Vaishnavas.
So what? Does it mean that if you're a Vaishnava, you have the right to curse a Vaishnava? So tomorrow, if you curse me, means if I don't know whether I'm a Vaishnava, but if you curse, let's say Priyadashini Mataji, you think you can get along because you're a Vaishnava.
That's why. No,
Both
that's
will
why
get one hit on the head. So
Yes.
basically, the point, obviously, it is orchestrated by Krishna, but the fact why Krishna, lets go that Vaishnava aparad is because of the fact. Yes, one answer is you're very closely right. Both are Vaishnavas and both have been orchestrated by Krishna. And the third point, what he wanted to prove is both he wants to play it in a midway, right? And he wants the Sanat Kumaras also to regret, because what he is feeling is whatever said and done, Krishna is taking Sanat Kumaras as guest and he's taking onus of Jaya Vijaya. You're able to understand the
Yes.
actual onus he's taking for Jaya Vijaya, though externally it appears that he is taking the sides of Sanat Kumara, but internally you see whose side he's taking. When you go and tell sorry on behalf of your child, whose side you're taking? Actually taking the side of your child. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. So he
Yes.
is actually playing it so well that he's taking the side of, though externally you may feel, what Krishna is backing. Right. So if Namalishra
Yes.
Prabhu tells that, I'm sorry on behalf of Radhika, I may get pissed off, what he's not supporting, but internally, he's taking on his behalf. That means he's speaking for me, right? So that's an elevated thought. All these are some things which our acharyas have taught. I'm trying to bring in this into my head and put it in your head because we should start thinking at a next level, no? So that is when. So let's move on to the 20. So our idea is Harikatha, Kirtan, emphasis in Tulsi Puja, promoting devotional service, training our devotees in offenseless chanting, encouraging Bhagavata-centric lifestyle. This has been primarily our goal in, ISKCON, right? So why I'm saying this is because how ISKCON is exactly following the Shastra, right? I know there's one old story bet also which is pending, which we can't do today. It's too much time. But why Shastras are so important, that is something which we do. We still have few verses to go. Please, someone do the next verse. I think 27 and 28 verse is missed out here. So someone can read 27 first.
27?
Yes.
29?
27 and 28. It's not there in the
The
PPT.
sages were so eager to see the Lord within Vaikuntapuri that they did not care to see the transcendental decorations of the 6 gates which they passed by one after another. But at the 7th door, they found 2 doormen of the same age. The significance of the doormen being of the same age is that in the Vaikuntha planets, there is no old age. So someone cannot distinguish who is older than whom. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha are decorated like the supreme personality of Godhead, Narayana, with Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma, conch, wheel, club, and lotus. Hare Krishna.
Where is another time when similar thing was seen by someone? Who saw a similar Vishnu kind of a person?
Vasudeva.
So Brahma saw Vishnu only. I'm talking about somebody like Vishnu, but not Vishnu.
The gopis.
Ajamila. Gopi saw Krishna directly. I'm talking about somebody who's not Krishna. Yes, Ajamila is the right answer. Ajamila saw Vishnu Dutas exactly like Vishnu. How do they then differentiate Vishnu from these Vishnu Dutas who look alike?
The Srivatsa.
Srivatsanka and
Kastuba.
Right, very nice. Kastuba and Srivatsa is exclusive because Kastuba represents us and Srivatsa represents Lakshmi. So these two are exclusive for Krishna. So these are things which you should know because when you're going to Goloka Vrindavan, you will go past that. You should not see somebody's husband as Krishna or Narayana and go and hug. So make note of all this. Okay.
Mataji, can you repeat? Kaustuba represents what?
Kastuba represents the devotees.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna. So now coming back to the sages, so they are passing through, that was passing through the 7 gates. Okay. So now there is also 2 sides of coin here. They are talking about this particular Goloka, Vrindavan, Vaikuntha they entered, which is very clearly explained in Ramanuja Sampradaya, to an extent by our acharyas as well. What they tell is this is not the actual Vaikuntha. Even Dhruva entered, right? Dhruva is not a devotee even. So they can't enter. So if these are Brahmavadis, because he became devotee only after smelling the tulasi. So prior to that, he did not, right? Therefore, they only entered the Vaikunta, which is there in the milk ocean, Kshirodakasai Vishnu. So that is where they were able to enter. Both Durvasa Muni as well as the Sanat Kumara. This is what our Acharyas are saying. So I just thought I'll share that. And very clearly, Ramanuja Santardaya, they talk about its Baumad Vaikunta. There are two Vaikuntas they classify, Bauma Vaikunta, and of course, Bauma Vaikunta also we cannot enter. That's a different story. But I just thought I'll give that piece of news. Yeah, the next verse, I think 37, you read, 38.
29, Mataji.
Sorry, 29. So sorry, 29. 28.
The two pure men were garlanded with fresh flowers, which attracted intoxicated bees, and which had placed around their necks and between their four blue arms. From their arched eyebrows, discontented nostrils, and reddish eye, they appeared somewhat agitated.
Right. So slowly that agitation is starting, right? Because the moment they saw these 4 children just taking a stroll without even taking permission, important role I'm doing here, watchman role. But, how could you do this? That immediate thought comes to us, right? So this is what is there. Yeah, come on, going next. 29.
The great sages, headed by Sanaka, had opened doors everywhere. They had no idea of ours and theirs. With open minds, they entered the 7th door out of their own will, just as they had passed through the 6 other doors, which were made of gold and diamonds.
Is that 29th verse, Mataji?
Yeah, 29th.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. So Kumaras not only they are free from duality, they are free, they do not have fear. Also, one more thing, even a child is allowed to enter. Prabhupada very beautifully says, right? They are not at all, duplicitous. They just enter straight away because child is allowed to enter any place, right? So that is what is the highlight. So they are very pure, and therefore they do not even get into whether it's right or wrong, and they just enter the place. Now let's move to the next sloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The doorkeepers Jaya and Vijaya saw the 4 sages. They did not welcome them, but laughed at them and blocked their way with their staff.
Mataji, I think reading the other one. It is
No, she's right. She's right. She's right.
Sages, no?
Yeah, it is 30 number.
30 is the 4 boy sages.
The 4 sages who had nothing to cover their bodies, but the atmosphere looked very 5 years old, even though they were the oldest of the all living creatures and had realized the truth of the self. But when the potters, who happened to possess a disposition quite unpalatable to the Lord, saw the sages, they blocked their ways with their staffs, despising their glories, although the sages did not deserve such treatment at their hands.
So one thing is never judge the book by its cover, right? And we saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu countering a person who never knew good Sanskrit, but he had so much of understanding of bhakti. So very important lesson for us. Sometimes we will make a lot of judgments about people, right? And this is something which you should be very, very careful. The first thing is anybody in spirituality, they'll think they are jobless. How many of you all have experienced it? Anyone who comes to spirituality?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, everyone
Right?
says like that.
Yes, Mataji.
So I remember the initial days, Namanishra Prabhu, see, I realized one thing. When Prabhu tells something, Prabhu gives a choice. We should always tilt to the choice which he prefers, though he gives the choice, right? So Prabhu came and told, if you all wish, you all can add your designations. First time when we were taking class and all. So Danishi ma'am, we're taking class. He asked me, you're Radhika, your call, what you want? I said, why? In spirituality, why we have to add designations, right? So I thought, okay, why should we get into all this? Because we anyway do that in the corporate world. So then, when we were in the class, right, end of the class, there was one devotee, of course, it was 18-day session, who came and told, see, Mataji, anyway, you both are jobless. Exactly these words. You all don't have any work. Okay? Not even very sure if you'll have a family. So you will have all the time on earth. Okay, to do all this. But, we are very busy, and invariably, she was throwing all that, she or he, whatever. So they were talking all this, right? And after the meeting, she called Radha. She said, what should I do? I said, I just said only one thing. I said MBA, MFM, CFGP. I gave like 3-4 lines. She said, done. So that's all I said. I said, you add all the designations as possible, right? Mention everything, VP access, all of that you put. And why? Because that is the day I understood when your guru tells something, there is a lot of insight. And that's why the 3-path vibhuti of Namanishra Prabhu, I've been seeing from day one. Every moment when Prabhu tells something, there is so much of thought. I cannot believe as if he foresaw not just this, many incidences. I'll probably in rest of our classes, it'll come out in some conversation, how he could even foresee, right? And many times we'll think we are humble. I didn't want to be humble. I just didn't want to talk or flag about designations because I thought this was not the platform. But then I understood that why many of the senior devotees of ISKCON mention their designation, IAM, IIT, doctor, engineer, not because they want to tell about the designation, but it is to tell the world, in spite of the designation, this is what I am, right? This is what spirituality is. In spite of that, I'm coming to spirituality means spirituality is more valuable. That is when I understood there is more to this rather than just a designation. Right. So why I'm telling you is there is a lot of thought which a senior person will think, and a lot of things which we will think as neophyte will think, yes, Stupidia is putting so much of designation. What is this? He spirituality will not put. End of the day, they have a different objective, right? And our point is, look how we find fault. Literally, we are not finding fault, but then our eyes are naturally tuned to finding fault. You getting my point? So that is what I want to put. So the doorkeeper saw, and they were laughing because of the external appearance. Obviously, offense is a very big mistake. As we say, we should never judge by the look. So here, Vijita Tatma means obviously Tatma means truth, and obviously understanding Vidit Atma, right? The very important meaning over here. What is the word translation for Vidit Atma? Can someone read in the book? There's a particular
Mataji, it says
Had
Vidit
realized.
is had
Vidit had
realized.
realized.
Atma Tattvan is the truth
The
of the
truth
self.
of the
Truth of the self-realized, right? Perfect. So that is a feeling which we should have. So as someone who's realized, right? And we sometimes, many times, miss out on that. Yeah, next to come.
32 Mataji or 31?
31, dear.
Okay, Mataji. Translation. When the Kumaras, although by far the fittest persons, were thus forbidden entrance by the two chief doorkeepers of Sri Hari, while other divinities looked on, their eyes suddenly turned red because of anger due to their great eagerness to see their most beloved master Sri Hari, the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhupada says the younger brother of desire is anger, but the desire can be redirected to see Krishna. Give me an example of a devotee where anger was justified. Here also their desire to see Krishna is what justified.
Hanumanji.
Hanumanji.
Right? Yeah.
Arjuna.
So that is very
Arjuna.
important. Say Arjuna, right? So Arjuna could not even tolerate many times Sahadev, right? When so much he got angry that he said that you will not go as Shantidu, and he tied Krishna. Okay. For Arjuna, he started laughing. But for Krishna, for Yudhishthira, he felt very disrespected, tying Krishna by force. And Bhishma was about to beat him up. Sorry, not Bhishma, Bhima. He was thinking, what is wrong? He got so angry. But all of that reactions were justified by Krishna. Imagine Arjuna is laughing, mocking Krishna that he tied, and Yudhishthira feels, what? It's adharma. How can you tie, that he was elder. And you have Bhima getting very wild at Sakadev, but all these different reactions, Krishna took it in the right sense, right? Whereas someone laughs at us, we get so offensive. You're making fun of me? Me? Right? That's our reaction. But look at Krishna. One side Arjuna is laughing, one side somebody is getting angry, one side, a heart of Yudhishthira is out, and he's just fine. And he's respecting Sadev's feelings, right? Because the bottom line is, many people in material world see the reaction. But in spiritual world, Krishna understands the underlying feeling. That is why anything for Krishna when you do, it's considered great, very, very good. Because whatever you say, whether it's anger or everything, you go back to Krishna. And also, desire, again, if it is redirected to Krishna, that becomes Parodharma. Next verse. Yeah, go ahead.
The sages said, Madhyaji, Hare Krishna Madhyaji. The sages said, who are these two persons who have developed such a discordant mentality, even though they are posted in the service of the Lord in the highest position and are expected to have developed the same qualities as the Lord? How are these two persons living in Vaikuntha? Where is the possibility of an enemies coming into this kingdom of God? The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no enemy. Who could be envious of him? Probably these two persons are imposters, therefore they subject others to be like themselves. Hare Krishna.
Advesha sarveshu bhutana maitri parne evacha, right? Nirmamo nirahankara samadukha shuka sami. That should be the behavior in Vaikuntha. That should be the behavior even in here to go to Vaikuntha. But here, if they are completely having suspicion, even if they justify that I don't know who's this fellow coming here, they cannot have that suspicion. That means suspicion is the work of the intelligence, right? So intelligence has passion. Mind is good. Mind will only tell yes or no, allow, not allow. But here they got suspicious. That means they are not eligible to be in Vaikuntha. So that is why if you see, Putana also, they did not suspect. We keep telling you, how mother did not suspect? Because they were all in the pure heart. The thought never came that they will do harm. Are you able to relate? While today we call very intelligent. I used to think very intelligently. I used to think, hey, stupid, yeah. To my child, though, I will not allow even a neighbor to touch. How could they allow Putana? How many of us have thought like that? Honestly tell me. A beginning.
Yes, everyone.
Right. So it is not because Yashoda Mai is idiot. It's because we are so polluted. How many of you will think, I'm just giving a small example. I come to your house and I stay. Okay. You put your wallet there. Your 1,000 rupees is missing. How many of you will have a doubt that I've taken the 1,000?
Actually, you'll be thinking like that.
Nobody, 99% will not think, right? Because it could be like, maybe I kept it there, maybe the thing, maybe genuinely I would have taken. I may come and tell Mataji, I just took the 1,000 rupees because, I want to change. And I thought in person, I will give you, 2,500. It could be genuinely me also, but my intent may be different. But even the thought will not come. Why? Because at that time, we are having mode of goodness. You're getting my point. And during Krishna's time, everybody had mode of goodness. Okay, they were not, it's not that they were not as intelligent as us, they were not as crooked as us. Now I hope all the questions are answered, right? We are still with Putana. So come on, let's go to 33rd verse.
In the Vaikuntha world, there is complete harmony between the residents and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, just as there is complete harmony within space between the big and the small skies. Why then is there a seed of fear in this field of harmony? These two persons are dressed like inhabitants of Vaikuntha, but where from can their disharmony come into existence? Hare Krishna.
So very important point, right? This is talking about Achinta Beda philosophy, where we talk about qualitative oneness and quantitative difference. Quality wise, we are one, right? And which is what differentiates with our what is this? Vashishta Dvaita, Ramanuja Sampradayam. Ramanuja Sampradayam is like body and the soul. The soul is Krishna, both Jada and Jiva is body, right? So both of them are classified as body, and that is why they say body has to serve the soul, and therefore we are dasa only. We also talk about dasa, but then we see Jivera Swarupave, Krishnera Nitya Das. We stop with the first line, but the second line, if you see, it continues, right? It's Jivera Swarupave, Krishnera Nitya Das. Krishnaya ka tadaksa shakti, Beda Abeda Prakasha. That is also there. That means we are the tadaksa shakti of Krishna, and that answers the Beda Abeda philosophy. That will there. For them, the line stops with the first line. But for us, it extends to the second line where we are talking about the significance. So wherever there is Maya, that is disharmony. Vaikuntha, Kunta, no problem. But here we are having. So Minister Prabhu will tell one thing, and never forget that, because I'm a person with full of fears. He says, the more the fear, the lesser your bhakti. He used to always tell, the higher the fear you have, the lesser is your devotion. The higher your devotion, your fear goes down. Okay. This is a litmus test. And I keep failing every day in the test. Very sadly, right? Because every time when we have fear, some way or the other, it means that our bhakti is slightly low. Otherwise, we are talking about Krishna, which is a song which talks about no fear.
Bhajapure Manasi Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare.
Beautiful voice. Excellent sloka, right? Song. Bhajauri mana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So Abhaya Charan, right? That's what is the name of our Srila Prabhupada also, right? So that is what it is. So now let's do the last verse for the day. 34.
Therefore, let us consider how these two contaminated persons should be punished. The punishment should be apt for thus benefit can eventually be bestowed upon them. Since they will dwell in the existence of Vaikuntha life, they are contaminated and should be removed from this place to the material world, where the living entities have three kinds of animals. Hare Krishna.
3 gates of to hell: lust, anger, greed. We read, na? You don't have the right to stay here. Yeah, go down. Right? Because as soon as you become impure, which is not possible, just like a person, right? As long as you're good, you're staying outside on the road. Once you make a mistake, you're going into the jail. And do you know where is the jail in the material world? What is the jail?
The whole wall is the jail.
Whole earth. Earth itself. Earth itself is jail. So imagine everywhere. Initially, when I was studying, I think, what, yeah, everybody who does a mistake is coming to earth. Then only I understood, they're not coming to earth. Earth itself is mistake. It's a jail, right? It's like a big jail. So that is something which we should remember. So with this, we are completing this. I will send the attendance in a minute. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo ananta koti vaishnav jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai namacharya Haridas Thakur jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this reminds me of one particular sloka which I don't have a chance today because it's not covered today. But what is it? Tasya Ravinda Nainasya Padaravinda Kinjalka Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Chakarena Vicharatesham Shangshobita Akshara Jusham Apichitta Tanvu, which is going to be a part of your exam sloka also, which talks about the upcoming verses, where after they see the smell of Krishna, they're going to fall flat. Right? So that's a very, very beautiful shloka. And I think you should, we will all relish that. And for the day, are there any doubts?
Mataji, I have a query. When
Yeah,
the
please go
four
ahead.
Kumaras were entering and they curse this to Jaya Vijaya, it is mentioned that because the four Kumaras were earlier Brahmavadi, they, after smelling the tulsi leaves, they became pure devotee and believed in the personal form of the Lord. But in the verse, it is mentioned they cursed them because they were stopping him from seeing their beloved Sri Hari, personality of Godhead.
Right.
Isn't it a bit contradictory? Like,
which is contradictory? I didn't get your question.
The sequence which mentions is they cursed Jaya Vijaya and the four Kumaras were initially Brahmavadis, right?
That is right. Yeah.
And they cursed Jaya Vijaya because they stopped them from entering the Vaikuntha. And so it is mentioned in the verse because they were stopped from seeing and meeting the Sri Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, their Lord. So like when they had that realization, so afterwards they became devotee because the Lord came out, opened the door and came and saw them post the incident happened, right? And that is when they smelled the tulsi and became pure devotees of the Lord.
Understood. So your doubt is why they came to Vaikuntha, or what is your doubt?
My doubt is they were Brahmavadis, so how did they relate as Supreme Personality of Godhead to be the Supreme Master and all that?
So Brahmavadis don't have a doubt about whether Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what I explained earlier. Only Mayavadis don't accept the personal form of the Lord. Brahmavadis know Krishna is the top person. They know he's a person. They prefer the Brahmajyoti. See, Mataji, there is something which junk food and home food. You know home food is healthy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Still, you'll go and eat junk food. Okay, that is your choice. But you cannot give a junk food to a 3-year-old, right? Why? Because a 3-year-old does not know. So it cannot discriminate. You go make a mistake, you do. What will they tell in the house? Hey, you want to get spoiled, you do. Don't spoil the child. Why? Because you know it and you're making a conscious call. So it's accepted. It's not that your mom, if you have a younger sister, your mom will tell you want to eat, you eat. Don't take her and spoil her. It's not that your mom wants to spoil you. It's just that you are conscious, but the child is small. She's not conscious. So you don't spoil the child, right? So the same story here. They are conscious of the fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't have a doubt, but they prefer the personal form. I mean, non-personal form. They prefer the profane. That's what is their choice. Just like how, which is your favorite color, you will tell one color, no?
Yes.
You're getting me? Like Bhishma. Bhishma wanted to see Krishna in the Parthasarathi form, right? Now you think gopis will like that form. Gopis never wanted to see that form only. They said, forget this form. You're horrible, you do. Go wash your face, put some makeup and come, right? That is what the gopis said. Come, Vrindavan here. What is this? Some dress, skurda and all. Right? Now you and me, any form is right. Now because we are like, beggars cannot be choosers. Open the door, any form is fine. Yes or no? Or you have any preference?
No, Mataji.
So anybody Krishna comes, they will take.
Yes.
Right? So I think one of the Matajis told, Mataji, even Vamana, I'll agree. I said, Vamana is not that small. Vamana is not going to come and knock your door. Because we, in our mind, see, look at the difference, right? Duality. Vamana means small, dwarf. Even that is okay. For us, any form should be okay, right? But still, where I'm coming from is everybody has a specific form close to heart, including us. Though we may be fine with any form, if Krishna gives us a choice, which form would you like? Each of us will have a form. Like if I tell you what is the first thing that comes in your mind, I used to play this game in, level 3. Each of them gave different things. Someone said peacock, someone, I think we played once here also, someone said cow. When we played the blanket, right? Paraphernalia, everything came out very beautifully. Blanket never came, right? But but that does not undermean a blanket, right? Blanket also is we saw how many pastimes are there. So why I'm saying is a Brahmavadi cannot be thrown out in the category of devotee. He is a devotee. Just because his choice is Brahmajyoti, just because Krishna likes the flute, just because a flute likes to serve Krishna as a flute, you cannot tell flute is useless. No? Just because it's hearing. Because if you see Damodar Ashtakam, what it says, I love the hearing because you are kissing Krishna. We never get this chance. So even the Shantarasa is considered great. Devotees don't want it. That's a different call. But somebody in Shantarasa is 100% satisfied because Shantarasa is also Balram. Right? So what I'm coming from is these people want to see Krishna, that's their choice because they know Krishna. But after smelling the Tulsi, they fall for the form. They get converted into devotees. Same with Sukha. The moment he heard, wow, personal quality of a person here. Why am I sitting on Brahmavad? And first of all, Sukha, no way can be a Brahmavad. He is a parrot. Now you would have seen his main job is to link Krishna and Radharani. You would have seen the personal form, right? So it's more of a pastime. And imagine, the sloka. Abhubakyam stanakala kutam jikham sayapadhyedade sadhi labegatanta shivchitanta tonyam kamba dayalum sharanam rajema. Point 1. Now next one, Varra Pitam Natavarapu Karnayo Karnikaram, Vipredvasat Kanika Kapilam, Vaijayantim Chamalam, Randran Venu Radharasuda Purayan Gopa Vrinde, Vrindaramyam Swapata Kamalam, Pavishet Kirta Kirti. Do you think only with these slokas he would get confused? Why does he not use the word Radha in Bhagavatam? Why does he does not utter the word Radha?
Because he'll
Otherwise, he would have gone into the samadhi.
Ecstasy, he cannot do
So that
anything.
means he knows Radharani. That means he knows there's a person called Radharani. Yes or no? So if he knows Radharani, does he not know that there's a person called Krishna?
Yes.
You're getting my point?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
these are logics, but too much of logic, very difficult because our logic is in the material platform. Okay? The spiritual platform is higher. So I'm just telling yata ditam yata mati. So I'm also trying to beat the logic and explain. But again, it will connect us to material. I'm not telling you should not ask. You should. It's very important to ask questions. But I'm only telling you logics don't give complete answers because logics can only tell you so much because it's only at the material platform. Yes, Sarita Mataji.
One question, Mataji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mataji, like we
Mataji.
have Ajay Vijay, they came down to material world because they were not in the Vaikuntha. If they were inside, that means they would not have fallen down. Something like that, Mataji, because it's
No. They were very much in Vaikuntha only. It's not that they were outside Vaikuntha. The point is very clearly that was a pastime. So the whole thing is enacted pastime. So they are all, otherwise tell me one thing. What is Parikshit's prayer? Does anyone remember? In case I don't go to Vaikuntha, what was his prayer?
I will take birth again and I will serve the devotees.
I should at least be born among the devotees, right?
Devotees,
Now,
yes.
honest answer, if you're given a choice to be an enemy for Krishna once and be a devotee of Krishna twice, what would we prefer?
Enemy once.
Devotee twice, Mataji.
I would prefer devotee 10 times rather than
Yeah,
enemy.
me too.
Right?
Yes.
Because if I become an enemy, I don't even know whether I'll go back to hell or whether I'll go back to Krishna Loka if I'm an enemy. Because I don't know. You're getting my point. But why are these people accepting? These people are accepting because they are very clear that they will not quote service. They are able to feel the bhava of Krishna. They feel Krishna wants to serve in Virya Rasa and therefore they choose that. They are not choosing for themselves. Right? Imagine a one-time enemy is more difficult than a two times devotee. Two-time devotee means you're relishing devotional service. Imagine as an enemy, you're scared, you're running, you're doing everything. Yes or no? And you can't show him. Tell me one thing, why did he send Putana and not send his is what do you call it? The Senadipati. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna. Why did he send Putana, Tenukasura, all of them? Why did he not send this army?
Because they are all demons.
So, if they are demons, how does it matter? He wants to kill Krishna only.
Mataji, again by the
he's
will
the
of the
infant.
Lord, Mataji, because Ravana's sister wanted
That is fine. That's okay. I leave Putana. Let me talk about another person. Why Dhenukasura? Why Akasura, Bakasura? Why is he sending Asuras? Why did it not? Why Kamsa is not sending? Sorry. Why Kamsa is not sending? Just one second. Why Kamsa is not sending? Why Kamsa is not sending? Sorry. Why did Kamsa not send? Hare Krishna, can you hear me? Why
he has
Kamsa
to
did not
send
send?
somebody who is more powerful because he knew that, you know.
Are you telling me Kamsa's, what do you call what is army is powerless?
He was a coward. He was a coward.
Why?
He wanted to use ulterior modes of killing Krishna, not using the
Not using? I think Priya Mataji answered clearly.
ulterior modes of killing Krishna, not using the army.
Why? My question is
Wanted
why?
to show overtly he wanted to show friendliness, but slyly he wanted to kill.
Perfect. He wanted to do it undercover. Do you understand? It's undercover operation. He did not want to tell that he wants to kill. He wants to, though it was obvious, but still he didn't, because otherwise imagine killing a child becomes very horrible, no? So externally, very nice Mataji, super Priyadashi Mataji. He liked to play undercover operation. Operation Kamsa. He didn't want Operation Kamsa, he wanted to call it Operation Asura. If he sends his army, it will become Operation Kamsa. He doesn't want that. He just wanted it to be very subtle. So army he kept and he sent undercover. Tomorrow if someone says, he will say, I don't know. Probably personal enmity. You're getting my point? Hare Krishna. Got it?
Yes.
So we will just conclude.
Mataji, may I ask that question? I have a
Yes.
question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mataji, to continue to what you are explaining. So, like they knew the position of the Lord, and they know, but still they are attached to the Brahman, right?
They know the
So,
position.
like, is it that they thought that Brahman to be the highest, or they know that
It's
also
their
that is the
liking. Tell me one thing, what color you like a lot?
yeah, red, many colors.
Red.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Why you like red? I'm just giving you randomly. Somebody will tell blue is the best color, right? I'm not disputing which is right. It's just a choice. Or if I have to ask you, what form of Krishna do you like? Or what name, one of the names of Krishna which you like a lot?
Krishna only.
Krishna only, right? So I have a friend of mine who is very fond of Narasimha, right? I'll tell you another example. How many of you all are wearing Narasimha Kavach? Now I'll give you the best example also.
Yes, I'm wearing it, Mataji.
Wearing Mataji.
Right? No offense. It's a perfect thing which you're doing. Okay. So now I had a shock. Correct. Right. I have Pran Chaitanya Prabhu. My teacher calls me and tells, you know, you have to pray Narasimha because you get fixed. You know, things will fall in place well. I have a close friend of mine who's a hardcore devotee of Narasimha. Right. She tells me, hey, you have to pray to Narasimha. It's hard time. Though I did not tell Pran Chaitanya Prabhu, I told Pran Prabhu, no, I'm fine with this. So he said, no problem, I'll pray for you. He arranged for Mayapur prayers, right? I was very happy. Okay, devotees are praying. Okay, now my friend comes and tells me, hey, you pray Narasimha, you know, your problem will get solved in 2 months. I said, why Krishna? She said, you know what takes for 2 years? Narasimha will fix in 2 months. I said, I'll wait for 2 years than to get my problem fixed in 2 months, right? It's the stupidest answer which I gave. That could be there. But the fact that, then she said, what? Then I said, no, I want Krishna to fix the problem. No, but then she explained, no, Narasimha is somebody who's come, you know, to solve the problems only. It's Krishna only. All that even I understand. I only take class now. You're getting my point, right? So I've read it, right? But the heart goes for Krishna, right? So I don't wear Narasimha, the Danish ma'am arranged for a Narasimha Kavach, right? She told me Narasimha Kavach, ma, you wear in the house, ma, you do, I don't wear, right? So I'm
got
not
it,
telling
ma'am.
it's wrong, right? So it's just a mindset. So I may be
So
very narrow.
basically, they have all the complete understanding what is what, but they are attached to certain form.
Yeah. So I also have complete understanding, right? So now Mr. Prabhu handled it very beautifully. He did what, he said, leave Radhika. Radhika, you know what? Take class, Narsimha class. Now, he told take class, right? Can you see the elevated platform? So all those who tried didn't work. But Prabhu made a very simple task. He said, talk. You're going to take class today, session 1 hour. So Prabhu made me talk, right? So the amount Narsimha is taken care. I told Narsimha all that is covered. But then I had to take, or rather he made me take the class and therefore that is also taken care. But he never made me do it. Are you able to get what I'm saying? Because he said, no, leave her, she will not do it. Last time also when this Narsimha Kavach argument, he told, no, she will not do it. He never even asked me, right? Because if he asked, I cannot tell him. Prabhu never wanted to put me on a spot. Are you able to get what I'm saying? That is what a guru really understands the heart of a devotee. That is why when he said, when I was tensed, every time he'll tell Krishna, Krishna. He never tells, Prabhu has a habit of telling Govinda. He never told me, tell Govinda. He never told Hare Krishna. Because what is close to your heart comes out naturally, right? So that way they wanted it to be close to the heart. Somebody knocked and said, was it you? No, okay. So that is a story. So now you got the answer. People stay smarter. You like red, somebody will like black.
Yes, Mata, they got it. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Whenever I start driving, Mataji, when I came to India and I started driving on the opposite side, then I started believing in Narsimha so much.
Which one?
Narsimha, about that. I put it in the car.
No. See, following Narsimha is a very good thing. I just gave an example for her. So you just don't delete it. It's not a part of my preaching. It's a part of my, for me to make her understand that. That's all. So continue to do whatever. Like even if you're, like as I said, somebody will be hardcore on Vamana, right? So I also do Narsimha prayers, Ugram, Veera, Mahavishnu, Narsimha thing, everything I tell. But I was just explaining the mood point of view. Right?
Yes. In very difficult situation, Mataji, to like for driving in places where they don't follow the traffic rules and all. So I just say, Narsimha Devi, you please drive it. Just then you say, Mataji, you can drive so well. I said, no, it was not me, it was Narsimha Devi who drives.
It's nice. So so basically that is what my friend used to tell. She said that I like Narsimha more than Krishna, though I understand both are same. Right? So I'm just telling you. So it's just a bhav. So and it doesn't matter. So all Vishnu tattvas are very similar, right? So it doesn't matter even if it is Ram. So that's right. So let's go.
No, I worship Krishna, Mataji, but only the protection I want. It's
fine. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So Hare Krishna. So let's do the shloka and we'll meet again tomorrow. Nirdehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham labham sukalpam guru karnadaram maya nukulena nabhaspateritam puman bhavabdim natare sad atmaha.
Nirdehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham labham sukalpam guru karnadaram
Nirdehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadaram maya nukulena nabhaspateritam puman bhavabdim nataresa atmaha.
Drudehamadhyam sulabham sudurlabham lavam sukalpam karukarnadharam nukulena navasvateritam.
So with this, let's meet again tomorrow. Attendance already posted. Thank you so much. And let's tell one Hare Krishna for Mohandas Prabhu who's unwell and who's hospitalized.
So he's hospitalized.
What happened, Mataji?
It's got a severe stomach pain. So we just tell Hare Krishna if that's okay.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Narsimha Dev protect him.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, and let's